Happy 2024 podcaster. I am so excited you're still in the game. So many people gave up in 2023. And here's the thing. I wish them well, and I wish they would have stuck around because they probably had a message that they knew was worth sharing and serving other people with, but they weren't willing to put the time in to grow. Last year, we had so many great guests. I got to meet many of my mentors, and I will be bringing people back this year. But I really want to shift the focus as we go forward into how podcasting can serve. Anthony's episode, a few episodes back, I'll drop it in the show notes, blew my mind when I realized that I have been doing a disservice teaching you how to monetize, how to grow, when we really need to learn how to serve. And once we serve, you know what happens? We grow and we make money. So I want to talk about some of the trends that I saw fade away last year and how you can make 2024, the beginning, set up for success. So you ready? Let's go. Welcome to the Cure for Pod Fade. I am so excited you found your way here because that means you know how powerful podcasting can be. You are ready to build a legacy with your unique story, your message, and your offer, but you're getting a little overwhelmed. You're feeling frustrated, you're feeling stuck. You just don't know how to grow your show, find a new audience, and make some money. Podcasting can be the ticket to the life of your dreams, and it doesn't have to be as hard as you think. We're talking about all the ingredients it takes to be a successful, profitable podcaster without that icky overwhelm, because you are too magical to join the 85% plus club that pod fades away. I'm your host, Jen Dragonette, so let's make podcasting easy peasy lemon squeezy. You did it, podcaster. You are still here. You are still in the game. You still know how powerful this platform is. I hear you. You're probably frustrated. You're probably overwhelmed. You're probably exhausted because, man, that last 3 months of the year between holidays and then the end of year push, I feel like we just set ourselves up to fail, right? We just set ourselves up to be overwhelmed. But I hope you had some overwhelm of good joy, happy love, and all the things through the holidays. So happy New Year. I want to say, yes, podcasting does take some work. And when I had that conversation with Anthony, and I had a great conversation with Dave Jackson last year, and I had a great conversation with Deidre, and I had a great conversation with Alex. I had so many good conversations last year that I got to sit and reflect last week. I took a lot of last week off, and you're listening to this on January 4th, which means that I am home recovering from a little procedure that I had. But I've been having this time to reflect on last year and what we can bring forward. And the conversations that I had, I really went back and listened to those people that were my mentors that helped me move to this level, that helped me connect with my audience better, that helped me grow, that helped me monetize. And it comes back to this core thing that, again, sometimes you need the right person to say the right thing at the right time. Hello, podcasting, the right person, right time, right tone of voice, everything. And that really summed it up at the end of the year with Anthony. And I'm going to have him back on. He may hopefully be a regular guest if he's listening, because he really did drive it home that we need to focus on serving. And the thing about this is that we want to monetize. We want to have the big picture. We love money. We need money. We need money to make a bigger impact. But when we focus purely on the revenue driving side of it, where we don't focus on serving, we don't focus on connecting, we don't focus on the other aspects of our show, of course we're going to pod fade away because that energy comes through. When we serve, people show up and pay. I started reflecting at the end of the year, okay, well, how did I make my purchases? How did I show up? How did I say, take my money, here's my credit card, here's my cash, I want to work with you? And the thing about it was that every time there was a pure service. Was there a sales pitch? Yeah, but it was woven into stories. And this is what I want to start teaching and being here, is those powerful stories of how podcasting served in life and in business, how we can use podcasting to get to the next level. Because Dave said it, Deidre said it, Alex said it, it's all about connecting. When you lose sight of there's a person on the other side of this microphone listening to you, there's a person on the other side of this microphone if you're interviewing that you're having a conversation with. That is the magic right there, is those conversations. It's an amazing way to network, to grow. And then you know what happens is that your expertise starts to shine. So now that I'm in these groups of people, when people need to find their stories and need to see how their multi-passionate, crazy brain can just pull out all the little pieces and turn into one cohesive thing, you know who they think of? Me. When I think about how to do the structured things and how to, really set yourself up to serve and things like that, I send people to Dave Jackson. When people are struggling with writing copy, I send them over to Deidre over at CapShow. What happens is this beautiful back end of you get to know people, and hello, we're human, we're made to connect, we're made to network, we're made to be in groups of people. And that's where the magic happens. We don't know who's on the other side of the microphone listening to our shows every single week, which Dave Jackson proved when his show, he had a listener reach out that said, I was going to end my life on Halloween, but I chose not to because of something you said on your show. Boom, mic drop. So this is such a powerful platform because it's intimate. When you're on social media, when you're on a blog, when you're on, YouTube is close, but I feel like podcasting is really intimate because of normally what you're doing, the multitasking that you're doing versus if you're watching a YouTube channel or if you're on social media, you're there for a different purpose. This is truly a platform where you can dig in and get to know your people. So some of the things that I noticed last year and that freaked some people out and are like, oh, podcasting is dead. Podcasting is dead. It's not dead. It's the wild, wild west. It does take time to build. It does take a strategy, but you can have fun doing all those things and you don't have to do all the things. That is where I went wrong last year, is I tried to do all the things. I was on Pinterest. I was on LinkedIn. I was on YouTube. I tried to be on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook groups, Telegram, and there's just so many things that I had spread myself so thin. I did crappy on all of them. I was terrible on all of them. So this year, one of the things I think we need to work on is focus on what brings you joy. Focus on what brings you that freedom. You don't have to be on every single platform to make this work. So if you're on every platform and you're burning out, I want you to first start looking there. Next, I want you to, we look around at the trends and we're like, oh, podcasting is dead. Yeah. TikTok pulled out of the podcast game in December. It's pretty crazy because I was so excited. I'm like, oh, they're going to have the RSS feed. It rolled out to some people. They beta tested it and they fell off. Well, here's the thing. TikTok and TikTok users aren't there for really long form content. Yes, some TikTok, I forget how many minutes now you can record there, but it's a different energy on TikTok. You have to think of the energy of your person on the other end and how you want to serve them. Is there a time and place for short form content? Yes, 100%. Is there a time and place for, long form content? Yes. I was reading this research. I wish I remembered where I saw this, but it was like, it used to be 7 hours that you had to be in front of somebody to get them to connect. Now I think it's like 10 or something. Don't quote me on that, but I was reading this article and it has gone up a few hours before people are willing to hand over their credit cards most of the time. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so if I need to spend 10 hours with somebody so that they can get to know me, what's the best way to do that? Okay, here's a few ways. I can spend an hour with them interviewing them for a podcast. Great. Get to know them, get to connect, get to see how they serve, really focus on them. I can talk to them once or twice a week on my podcast. Okay. There's 30 to 60 minutes of time, them consuming and growing and me serving them in a way. then, I start thinking, I'm like, oh, I can go to in-person networking groups. And then challenges. I love a good challenge or a good masterclass. Those are great ways to showcase how you can serve, as long as you're being sure to give them a win. You want to leave them empowered and not just like, why did I just listen to your 30 to 90 minute sales pitch? Those drive me crazy. But if you continually serve, when people are ready or people are thinking top of mind, they're going to come to you. And I think that's one of the things we have to think about is that, yes, it is work, but so is playing social media and trying to get the algorithm and connecting with people. So is building a YouTube channel and learning how to edit. There's a whole bunch of things. When you really break it down, you can spend a lot less time if you position yourself correctly. You can spend a lot less time on long form content, building an audience, than you can short form content. Does it give you the ego boost of like, good job, way to go, look at all these views and all these likes? Not necessarily. But as you continually grow every month because you're serving, more people come in, more people come in. I don't advertise that I have a production company. Well, I do on occasion. You all know that I'm a podcast producer. But every single one of my clients stemmed from one client that I originally had. That's not true. There's two clients that were my original two clients that all of my clients stemmed from. What happened was they told their friends. Their friends told their friends. Their friends told their friends. And then I now have a waiting list, which is really exciting. I've never had a waiting list before. So I'm thinking of bringing on a new staff member because, again, podcasting isn't dead. People are paying me to produce podcasts because they see the value. I had one client that just hit 1 million downloads this year, and she's so excited, and we have quadrupled the downloads every month. And these are big numbers. These are like, what do we have? 5-figure numbers that we're quadrupling and we're just growing and growing and growing. That's a combination of her social media management platform and them working and her putting out good quality content on the podcast and serving. So there is a ton of things that are going to be exciting this year. I know so many of you are scared about Google Podcasts going away, but YouTube, the biggest, come on, Google owns YouTube. So Google Podcast is going away, but Google has decided with their YouTube, because they're the same company, that they're going to allow us to enter RSS feeds. So you have to think about, okay, Google, one of the big guys, the big search engines, is seeing the benefit that they're going to add it to one of their products, their YouTube channel products. They're going to add RSS feeds to YouTube. And I'm like, oh my goodness, if this doesn't tell you where this trend is going, I mean, hello, the big guys are saying podcasting. So what I want you to really, really, really start thinking about is, what is it that I want? How can I get there? And how can I serve my audience? So for me, if you listened last week, I am focusing on podcasting, networking, guesting, and Facebook. That is it for the first 6 months. You might see some content come up on Instagram on occasion, and I love stories, so you'll still see me in Instagram stories and Facebook stories. But I really wanted to focus. I really wanted to get really good at these platforms and YouTube. Did I say YouTube? So podcasting, networking, guesting, Facebook, and YouTube. So those 5, which is a lot. I don't want you to start there. If you're feeling overwhelmed, pull some back. But I see the value in these places. I see YouTube being valued because, again, it's Google. So it shows up on the search engines because we all know podcasting SEO is terrible and we need to fix that. Every day I'm like, please, universe, please, 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 please let us fix podcast SEO. So for me, I wanted to focus on something that was SEO that wasn't a blog. So I'm going to start working on video editing a little bit more because I love to play and be creative. So that platform will bring me joy. I want to focus on Facebook because I love going live. I love doing collabs over there, dual lives. I love that. It lights me up. I enjoy Facebook. Okay. So now I'm doing something I enjoy. I'm recording podcasts, which I enjoy. I'm interviewing people and I'm being interviewed, which I enjoy the connections. I'm doing video editing, which I enjoy. And I'm going live on Facebook, which I really, really enjoy. And having that strategy right there, with a back end, I will be creating a freebie. I have my free 30-minute podcast audit that I absolutely love, which is I can't say never going away. Right now, in the foreseeable future, I don't see it going away. That's 30 minutes of my time coaching you, looking at your business, looking at your podcast, and seeing how we can cohesively mix these together. Because again, that's my superpower. My superpower is looking at all your different offers, all the different avenues, and being like, okay, what's the parent for all of these children that you've birthed so that we can make a cohesive way to run your business so you don't feel so scattered. That's my superpower. That's part of the podcast CPR audit as we kind of fix and tweak so that you can move forward. You can grab that at podcastcpr.com. But again, things that bring me joy. Bring me joy. And I've been really struggling because I've wanted to create a word for 2023. And it's like, okay, well, I want freedom. I want joy. I want pleasure. I want fun. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have to just pick one word. It hasn't come to me yet. I am recording this on the 31st, so I still have some time. No, I always have time. There's no hard, fast rule for any of this stuff. So what I really want you to start thinking about, and the trend that I want you to take forward, is there's not a trend that's like the magic pill that's going to grow your show, that's going to grow your show with ideal listeners that say, take my money, take my money. There's no magic pill. But when you start focusing on the things that you enjoy doing that bring you joy, then great. Does that mean that it's not going to be harder, that it's not going to push you outside your limit? Yeah, if you're not uncomfortable, you need to push yourself a little bit more. Video editing is a little bit outside my wheelhouse. It's uncomfortable not being good at it. Going live, not always my favorite thing, so I'm still pushing myself, but I'm focusing on the things that bring me joy. Facebook Lives bring me joy. Sharing on Facebook where I can share business and my personal life, and it feels safe, and I feel like I'm not going to get trolled out of existence, brings me joy. Collaborating with people and getting to know people brings me joy. So having people on my show, interviewing other people, and going to networking events brings me joy. Video editing and getting to be creative and starting to get to play with the graphics and all of that stuff brings me joy. I did go to school for it. I mean, my first major was visual communication and graphic arts. I love that stuff. I love branding. And I love the CPR audits because, again, I get to take all the mishmash of things that you have in your mind and then look at your podcast and how you're focusing on your business and cohesively come up with a plan and a strategy of what you want to bring forward. Brings me joy. So am I pushing myself outside my limits? Yes. Am I growing and expanding? Yes. But what I'm doing is growing and expanding in a way that feels so yummy and so good. Good. And that's what I want for you. So as you're moving into 2024, I don't want you to look at the trends of like, oh crap, Google's ditching podcasts. Oh crap, Spotify just, fired 1,200 people or let go of 1,200 people. I don't want you to start thinking about that stuff. What I want you to start thinking about is what brings you joy. How can you serve? How can you show up? How can you spread your message? Because again, your story is someone's life raft. Heck, I wrote the book titled exactly that. This podcast is probably going to get an upgrade of that being your podcast is someone's life raft. The ultimate cure for Podvade is your story, is your passion, is that hope that you spread in the world. And that's what I want you to bring forward. So, with that being said, Happy New Year. I love you. You are amazing. You are worthy, and your story, your message, your gifts deserve a microphone. So to this year, stand up, do the things you love, serve from your heart, and watch your life take that next step into that next level of success and abundance and love that you deserve. So are you ready for it? Let's make 2024, let's commit right now to making it the best year that we've had so far in our lives, so that every year from there, it can just keep getting better. All right, go out and do the thing.